We'll get live here. Says we're live, man. So I'm gonna hit the music. Your favorite intro, Bill.
Love this intro.
I don't know which one's which, but we're gonna use it.
What you gonna do, brother, when Jeff Townsend Media runs wild on you?
All right, all right, all right. This is Jeff Townsend, and with me is the man, Bill DeMott. Bill, you love that intro more than anybody. I always see you laughing and giggling
Man, I
during it.
love the beat of the tune, and then the voice. What you gonna do, brother? It just makes me laugh. It sets me up for a good episode. It sets me in a good mood.
Good man. We have people, a bunch of people kicking off the experience with us live tonight. We've been out for a few weeks, so I'm excited to get back into things, man.
Yes.
How are you doing? It's been like storming like crazy here all day.
We're quite the opposite. You know, this is the time where a lot of people are getting ready to come out of winter and get ready for spring. And in Florida, you come out of winter and go right to summer. So it was 86 today.
Oh,
Allergy season is horrendous, and that's all I got.
86 degrees. Wow.
Oh man, sun, blue sky, 86. It went from literally in the watching baseball games in like 42 degrees to watching baseball games in 86 degrees.
Bill, tonight we are live across 8 different platforms as usual, and we're live on a new platform tonight. It's called Kick. What do you know about kicking, Bill?
I used to kick it back in the day.
Well, there you go. We're kicking it tonight, man.
I have no idea what kick is now, but
It's Chad Michael's favorite streaming service. So
Chad,
apparently it's an up and coming
okay.
streaming platform, I guess. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite interact with StreamYard here, so I can't see comments on this screen. So
So
people
we're one of the first to go out on this platform now.
no, there's a bunch of people doing it. It's
No,
just
we're the first.
we're the first pro wrestling discussion one. I'm making that up even. I don't even know that. It's probably not
We're
even
the
true.
first ones today.
We're the first ones this hour. We'll
This
say
hour.
that. That's what I feel comfortable saying. Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening here to the Build and watching along at the Build a Mod experience. Of course, we're live as we are on Thursday. Some of you listen to this later, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, we've been out for a few weeks, but we have some catching up to do, Bill. We're
Man.
going to probably jump fully back into things the next time we record. A lot of the listeners had a special request that what we covered this evening.
Okay.
And this was actually news a few weeks ago, but we missed it because we've been out. And they wanted to make sure that we didn't get away from it.
Okay.
It is the Wrestling Observer newsletter End of the Year Awards.
Oh, I know nothing about this. Okay, I'm ready.
Well, this is going to be fun then. You're going to
Okay.
love that. But before we dive too deep into that, let's talk about something. Last time we recorded, which was a few weeks ago, Tony Khan made a big announcement. The greatest episode of Dynamite ever was going to take place on the 13th of March. You remember this announcement? I think we shared it on the show.
Yeah, big news, right? It's
Well,
another.
Huge news, Bill.
Yeah.
Huge, not big. It was huge. It was going to be it was going to change the professional wrestling industry as we know it. And last night, that episode came and went. And let's go ahead and kick things off by sharing a clip of what happened on AEW last night. Come on, Bill. I know you're feeling it.
Here she is. What a time, a great time being a fan of AEW, guys. It really is. Look at this crowd.
Yeah, great crowd on hand here at the TD Garden Arena.
But first and foremost, that's the first thing I want to say is thank you. Thank you for having my back these past 2 years. Thank you for giving me the courage and the strength to be here. Thank you for sticking with me from all of my lows, all of my highs, all of my milestones, all of my titles, all of my moments, the history-making moments. Thank you. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you for letting me believe in my dreams. You see, my dreams got me to lead a woman's evolution. My dreams made me become the first ever woman to main event at pay-per-view in this very building.
There you have it, Bill. What we've been talking about. It happened last night. Are you surprised? Were you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised because I think much like the rest of the wrestling community, I think it was just a matter of time when it was going to happen. I'm not like so. Let me start by saying I'm a big fan of Sasha Banks. I'm a big fan of.
You've been around her a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard of her. I remember seeing her do some stuff and been around it for a while. So let me get that out of the way. But I want to say last night, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the old timer in me, right? We talk about this every time there's big news, and it just doesn't seem to be. I don't know. I felt like, and again, if I'm being really critical, I felt like I was going back in time to when they brought Paige back, Saraya, and it was the same kind of thing, and it was the same. Telling everybody about your accolades and all the things that you accomplished and you're happy to be here. One, is she the CEO of AEW? Or is this the evolution of the boss to now the CEO?
Well, clearly it's the evolution of that. I mean, yeah.
So
you had to have something. You couldn't use the boss.
Well, I mean, Springsteen would be upset, but
I'm not talking about Springsteen. Maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. Springsteen would be upset.
The thing I felt like, okay, if that was the introduction of Mercedes Moné, great. But then she came back at the end.
Yeah, I'll touch up on that. How this is weird for me. Let me articulate.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna kick it right back to you with that because it was weird.
It was weird. Okay, so the way it was presented in the beginning, in my opinion, hell, you just keep announcing she's going to be there that night if you're going to bring her out in the beginning. Obviously, they didn't do that with CM Punk before, but I think that's a little bit different just because of the significance of it. Yeah. But with her, you knew she was going to be there eventually. CM Punk, that thing kind of came together pretty last second. And you still, just because it was CM Punk, you're like, is he really going to come back to pro wrestling after 8 years? You really just didn't believe it, you know? But with her, I think just promoting it ahead of time would have been great. Obviously, they got about 9,500 people in the Garden, which is more than they've been. I mean, I don't know. They've been getting about shy of 2,000 maybe?
Yeah.
So that was great, but I think it could have moved even more if you had announced it. But here, if you didn't want to announce it, that's fine. But maybe then she comes out at the end and does that save.
Right.
And then you don't have to announce it. Then that's the big pop. That's the big moment. Everybody goes home happy. Even let her talk afterwards. Then the episode ends. That's how it felt weird to me.
Yeah, I feel like the and we talk about this and we'll always talk about it. The one thing that WWE does better than anybody else is putting packages together. I feel like
Oh, yeah.
you really could have put a package together the last 3 weeks. The CEO is coming, the CEO is coming, the CEO is coming. And then and I think the commentators even announced it, like nobody knew who the music was or anything. They weren't sure. Even when the CEO thing came up until the initials on the underneath came out, until you saw it, people really didn't know. But imagine if they would have made that big. You kept saying for every time they said there was a huge announcement coming, they played a vignette. And they played a vignette and they played a vignette. Even 3 weeks worth, I think would have been so much more impactful to everyone else. And to your point, I would have switched the show around. I would have switched Saber till the end, go off hot.
Yeah.
I don't think they went off hot. I think they went off flat. And that's always the issue I have with bringing in. I talk about it with Jay White. I talk about it with all the guys. And now they got Okada. And Okada's just in the
Will
mix
Ospreay.
of these. Will Ospreay. It's just they have so much talent. And I think the only thing they can claim is they have so much talent. And if you just followed suit, don't copycat it. But I just felt like if we had a couple weeks of vignettes or something that Sasha's coming or Mercedes is coming and all that. But I don't want to take away from it's great to see her on the TV. It's okay. Now she's back. Now I go to what are we going to do now? Because right now they're telling me that the whole thing with Willow that no one knows about unless the commentators tell her that's why when she broke her ankle, Willow beat her in Japan. We'll never know that story unless the commentators tell it. And actually, nobody will really care about that here in the States.
Oh, Bill, come on. Everybody watching AEW loves Japanese wrestling. Every single person. Didn't you know that? They know all the inside stuff. You don't need Excalibur to explain it. Every person watching I don't know. I haven't seen the ratings yet, actually. They all know New Japan Pro Wrestling, though.
And then, they're big on, I know we don't want to tell stories in professional wrestling, but why would she save the person that beat her?
More to come. It's a cliffhanger, Bill.
It's a cliffhanger, all right. I'm with you. I'm not going to argue that point. It's a cliffhanger. That being said, I'm glad she's back in action. Chad apparently didn't like that. He thought that was a very lackluster.
Well, the way it was built up, you would have thought that maybe it was possibly more.
Yeah, something.
You already brought in Will Ospreay and Okada.
You brought them in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like this. So you brought in Ospreay, Okada, Sting retiring, and Mercedes Moné in the same month. What's the big news here? What's the big?
That is the big news. Mercedes is back. I'm a huge Sasha Banks Mercedes fan. Huge. Happy to see her.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. We've talked about it, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because we have to cover the most important thing in the world, which is Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards.
Yes.
But I do worry. I do think she brings some legitimacy, obviously, to the women's division there. She will be the biggest star there. But what are they going to do with the division there? That will determine everything. So,
because we could really go down a rabbit hole here, but we won't. We'll hold on to it because we got a bunch of weeks to catch up on this. But yeah, I think that division. I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I think it's going to be a little wonky. I think there's going to be a lot of upset players in the game going forward. So
a lot of upset players in the game. If you're listening along live, let us know what you think. Comment along. There's a bunch of you all across all platforms, so feel free to chime in on your thoughts on big business. It was big, all right. Like I said, you got Okada back. There. Then you got Will Ospreay. A lot of good matches coming down the pipeline, technically speaking. But I know, Bill, that's not enough for you.
It's not. I need more.
You need more cowbell. You need more stories.
Need more. I think they went backwards. The week before or the show before, I get confused because they have a Friday show, a Saturday show, whatever show.
I haven't watched a Friday or Saturday show for a long time now. Let me just be completely upfront. I read about it, but I don't.
So Daniel Bryan and Ospreay go head to head.
Right.
Then they have this talk, and they say, "I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you, bro. I'm going to get you." And then Ospreay comes out last night and says the exact same thing he said the week before. So how do you get behind it? It's almost like they're repeating themselves on a different station, treating it like no one watched. I don't know. It's a sticky wicket for me. There's a lot of big things going on, and there's a lot of things that I truly don't get. And to I know you're going to ask me at some point of this episode, and the answer is no. I did not buy the pay-per-view. I did not.
Come on, Bill.
I'm confused enough on regular TV. What would be different on the pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view was good. A lot of good matches in it. I actually did like the Sting match. It's kind of weird, but you know, you always worry about how extreme Darby Allin will go. But I mean, Sting himself limited in that match. Go ahead.
Who actually retired? Sting or Darby Allin? This has been the Darby Allin show for the past 3 months.
Past 3 years.
Everything about Sting has been Darby Allin.
Yeah.
He comes out the night after Sting retires and talks about I Mount Everest. Like I don't. It had nothing. It's like Sting's not even there anymore. It's gone. One of the biggest moments AEW could have had is gone. And rightfully so, when you retire, rightfully so, you should be. But to me, that was very centered on Darby Allin. Darby Allin cutting promos for Sting, someone who's in the business 30 plus years, and someone who's in the business for 10. And Darby Allin was the mouthpiece, the storyteller, and it took me out of it. And so the next night, to come out like nothing ever happened. And then last night's match, I'm not crapping on the talent. I'm just crapping on the way everything goes.
What about Nicholas and Matthew? You didn't watch the match. You wouldn't know. Bill.
Yeah, I didn't watch the match.
They did a pretty good job. Bill, let's go ahead and move on to the goods. We got people waiting. Hundreds of people are watching at this point in time. So, Bill, in honor of this, I actually printed out. Obviously, he's not sending it to you anymore, right? Like he used to back in the day. Yeah. I go so far back with this guy that I used to get the actual physical copy. So I thought for this episode, I will print it out.
Holy cow!
But then it's hard to read, so this ought to be interesting. Don't have my bifocals on like Bill.
These are now trifocals.
So every year, Dave Meltzer gives select readers or subscribers of the Wrestling Observer the opportunity to do this vote. I don't really know the total amount of people always that are doing this voting. Nevertheless, I think nor do I know how you become at a point or a status in which you are allowed to vote.
Pay for that? Yeah, what do you pay for that?
I've never got a permit. I've never got the opportunity to vote.
The whole time you've subscribed, you've never gotten an invitation to vote?
No, I don't even get any communication from them, actually, to be honest.
And you're blocked.
So, and I'm blocked on social media. I could be completely wrong. They probably do let me vote. They just cut me out, so I don't know. But anyway, so they even give people the opportunity to share their comments along with their submissions. Yeah. And I'm going to try to explain this to you as the story reads.
Okay.
Category A awards. Winners determined by points on a 5-3-2 basis. First place voters in parentheses. Okay, so yeah, this is where it gets confusing to me. I think a lot of things go into play here. It might be like, I don't know, certain regions are worth a certain amount of points. So like maybe it just wouldn't be completely swayed by one country. I don't really know how it works, to be completely honest with you.
Okay, I think I understand you.
So I'd have to get with Dave and have him explain the Scientology, like the bracketology, but the Scientology behind this Scientology.
We need to get Uncle Dave on this show to explain Scientology.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere where I am. Anyway, let's start it off. The Luthez / Ric Flair Award, Wrestler of the Year. I want you to guess the top 3.
Top 3 wrestlers of the year.
As determined by the readers of the Wrestling Observer newsletter.
Can I ask 2 questions before I guess?
Sure.
Are they American wrestlers or are they worldwide wrestlers?
They are American wrestlers now.
Okay. So the 3 top wrestlers of the year,
2 of them are in America, have been in recent times.
we're going to say Okada's one of them. We're going to say Will Ospreay's the other one. And just because we're going to say Daniel Bryan's the other one.
Coming in first place with, I got to determine if this is the votes or a clear landslide victory, actually a pretty large one compared to the previous years, is Will Ospreay.
Boom.
Now, I don't know if this is points or votes here. It says 302, and then it says 1,814. So, yeah, I got a votes in parentheses. So 302 votes for Will Ospreay. Cody Rhodes comes in second at 119.
Okay.
MJF and third with 80. And this is where things get a little bit confusing. Roman Reigns comes in fourth with 106, but he has less points. So, like I said before, this is based, I think, on other criteria like regionally speaking, point system as well. So just one country's not dominating it. But anyways, running out the top 5 is Bryan Danielson. Other notable names in here, Seth Rollins is okay. Mystico, we know him. He's at 6th. Seth Rollins is 7th. Okada is at 8th. And which is down here for Okada, huh? And I think Moxley tied at 10th. So just names thrown out there that I know that you would know. Will Ospreay clearly takes home the gold on this year's.
How weird is it that MJF wasn't even a thought? And I don't mean anything against. Like,
he was third. He was third.
But I'm saying, like, I'm thinking of the top 3, and because he's been out of sight, out of mind, he didn't even pop up in my twat. And to me, he's one of the top 3 performers.
It's important to know this is 2023.
Oh, okay, then I'm good.
End of the year. Yep. This actually came out the very last day of February, I think. So
okay.
The listeners really wanted to get your reaction on this. Yeah, Will Ospreay, clear runaway winner, man. Your thoughts on that?
How is he the clear runaway winner?
Okay, well, good that you asked that. Here is a note from Dave. Will Ospreay, 30 years old, ended up a pretty clear and cut winner, especially as pertained to first place votes in a race that was the hardest to call of Wrestler of the Year for many years. Unlike with most years, when it's usually obvious who is going to win this year, the win award this year, it was unclear with strong arguments for all top 4. Many expected Roman Reigns as the top guy. Then he goes on to say he didn't really wrestle a whole lot. Rhodes was a workhorse. MJF was a world champion. But Ospreay was the consistent best wrestler in the world and had a unique where he had the best matches and multiple promotions across multiple companies, as well as being the MVP in both Japan and Europe. It was that match quality that gained him the award for the first time.
So the people that voted for him came from Europe and Japan?
Well, no, because later on, I don't know if we'll get that deep in these awards because it would take all day. There is a by country too. Because he has like an A bracket, a B bracket, a C bracket. Okay. Uncle Dave's got a whole science behind that, so note that.
Okay, so I can't argue any of them because I really don't understand the significance. But I'll ask you. So you're a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
Would Will Ospreay be your number one?
My number one, probably not. But would he be these ideal audience of this newsletter's number one for sure? I would probably go with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, people that you've seen, but it's different, right? It's the Wrestling Observer, so he writes about these guys every month, every week, whatever it is. So
yeah,
his audience knows them. So
it's going to be swayed towards what he,
what he covers,
what he's putting out to them for sure.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay, hey man, had a great year.
Oh yeah.
Will Ospreay has great matches. He takes big risk, and I think the thing with Will Ospreay is his moves look very devastating. Maybe because they are,
believable.
Extremely believable. One of the best I've seen do it in a really long time as far as how real the execution of each move looks. And I know for Dave being a, what's the Japanese style called?
Strong style.
Being a strong style fan, that probably really helps. But man, he did have the opportunity to wrestle all sorts of different people.
Yeah.
Probably questionable storylines. I don't know if a lot of them were tied to a storyline necessarily, but he was put in a position to have a lot of good, technically speaking, wrestling matches,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's good.
Oh, he's a talented cat. I think they're gonna have to rethink the format of the whole company, because you've got some truly strong style guys that are known for that. And if everybody in the company's working and wrestling the same way, then nobody stands out. So Will Ospreay's stuff is not going to be as impactful because everybody else is doing it. You know, that's just my opinion on it. Is it's tough to put Daniel Bryan and those guys up on that pedestal now, because everybody's doing the same thing, the same moves, kicking out. Nobody's winning definitively with these unbelievably athletic and dangerous moves. So I don't know what they're going to do with the Will Ospreays and the Okadas and the, as they keep coming in like this, and even the CMLL guys. It's just everybody's having the same style match, including the women.
Strong style, Bill.
Everything is strong style, so no one is stronger than anybody else, and it's confusing. It's like, that's why I say I don't have to watch the pay-per-view, because I can watch the next show and know what happened. And
there's like 400 of you listening or watching live at this exact point in time.
Awesome. Welcome everyone.
Many platforms. Let us know what you think. I do see some comments asking who the honorable mentions were. So it mentions 3 honorable mentions here: Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega, and even CM Punk.
So, I mean, Kenny was limited in action even in 2023.
Well, so is CM Punk. Did he have a match in 2023?
Yeah, so, yes.
What, a house show with Dominic Mysterio? Was that his match?
Yeah, something like that. But
anyways, you're always going to have those oddballs.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy's another guy.
Hey, Jim Mallard, buddy, longtime buddy Jim Mallard is popping up, man. Hey, he's been a podcaster forever too, man.
What's up, Jim?
The Mallard Report. Check it out. Anyway, so let's go real quick before we move on from this big category. Some previous winners. Who do you think won it last year?
Roman Reigns.
No. Oh, come on, dude. John Moxley won it in 2022. Kenny Omega 2021. John Moxley in 2020. Chris Jericho 2019. Kenny Omega 2018. Okada 2017. AJ Styles in 2016 and 15. Then we'll just stop at the 10-year mark here. Nakamura in 2015.
All international. He's talking about all international stars.
What I'm trying to do real quick is go back and find the last WWE one. So Styles would have been WWE, right? 2000.
I'm trying to think.
No, he came in the Royal Rumble, didn't he? Was that 15, 16 Royal Rumble? It would have been Royal Rumble regardless, because he was there the whole year. So maybe it was AJ Styles. But he does have John Cena on here in 2008, 2011. Chris Jericho's on here as well. So that's kind of where it goes out. But yeah, we're like 8 years removed at least from WWE having a wrestler that's
all international. And I think that's Uncle Dave's cup of tea anyways, that international stuff.
John Jones won the Mixed Martial Arts Most Valuable Award.
John Jones.
Kind of random that Dave likes to still throw in the UFC stuff, even though he's really not that big into it anymore. You know what I mean? He still throws it in there, though, so I'll give him credit. Okay, what do we got here? Most Outstanding Wrestler. I won't make you guess this time. Will Ospreay is number 1. He had 548 votes. Daniel Bryan, number 2 with 122. Kenny Omega, number 3. Zack Sabre Jr., number 4. And I'm just trying to throw out some names that you'll see here. Gunther's number 6, Bill. And everybody else, Orange Cassidy, number 9. I don't think you would know the others on here. John Moxley, MJF, Seth Rollins, Eddie Kingston got honorable mention. So I think this is the most outstanding wrestler. So I thought there was like an award called the Daniel Bryan Award. We'll have to go along here and figure this out. But most outstanding wrestler, Will Ospreay again.
I think Ospreay's probably going to take every category.
You think so?
Well, if you're going up Uncle Dave's thinking and the way he kind of follows the product, How can you not be the top guy and not have every category?
Well, here's the thing. So he did win it last year too. Kenny Omega, you can see him throughout the years on here.
Yeah.
And AJ Styles as well. So Bryan Danielson has it quite a bit going back. And really, it's a lot of Chris Benoit on here. But here's what Dave said about it. Ospreay captured the award for a third time after winning it in 2019 and 2022, and he placed top 5 in 2020 and 2021. It was not a race this year, and Ospreay's win seemed a given. Bryan Danielson, a record-setting 5-timer winner, placed a very strong second with 3 wins. Ospreay joins a very select people on a list: Ric Flair, Justin Liger, Kurt Angle, and Bryan Danielson. I guess this is the people that have only captured that many awards. So,
is this? So, can I ask? Is this the Wrestling Observer's answer to the PWI Top 500?
Yeah, that's a pretty fair comparison because I think I try to remember the first year they did that PWI Top 500. It goes back quite a damn while.
It goes back a while.
Yeah. So I think this is like the go-to wrestling award. Like I'm the best. I think like I'm the best technical wrestler award is what we're talking about here.
Okay.
Is what we just finished. So he's obviously saying Will Ospreay is a runaway clear favorite for the most technically sound wrestler. I hope you can hear me shuffling through this paper. I feel like cool reading it, through on a paper.
I enjoyed someone actually reading from a paper.
It's not easy. It's hard to freaking read. Tag team of the year. Who are you going to guess?
Tag team of the year is the Usos.
That's not who I would have guessed. So let me tell you who I would have guessed. Young Bucks. Right? I would have guessed that that would have been who won. I'm not saying my opinion, but it's FTR. Can't argue with that.
Nope, can't argue.
FTR takes the pretty good lead here. I don't really know the standards, but it looked like a pretty easy win here. It's second place Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You're thinking, they weren't the tag team that long, but they were in 2000. They were 2023. They were from what? Prior to WrestleMania, they started doing matches together.
Yeah, I guess
a few more months. Yeah. So you got to think of that here. It's 2023, Bill.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out some other people. Young Bucks coming in at number 5. Usos are number 8. The Acclaimed are number 10. I wouldn't waste your Jay White and Juice Robinson got an honorable mention. Damian Priest and Finn Balor got an honorable mention. Adam Cole and MJF got an honorable mention. I'm making sure I'm not going to overwhelm you with information. I love Jim Cornette covered this, right? And he goes, "Who?" Because
I love when he does that.
Because a lot of people don't really know a lot of these people that Dave Meltzer watches a lot of wrestling. So FTR, they're great, Bill.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, hands down. No argument. How the Usos are number 8 and all that. I guess.
Well, they lost the title in a couple months into the year. Maybe that's why. I don't know. By April, they were already they were splitting up after that loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know what you're wondering.
I'm FTR, so I got no beef with that one.
So they won it for the second straight year in a row. They hold the tag team title for several months, and being the anchor for the Collision show, certainly can't argue with that.
Yep.
The highest profile tag team match of the year was obviously Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some previous winners of this, just to kind of wrap your mind around this award, how it's been historically.
Okay.
So FTR last year, then, oh my, we got the Young Bucks are littered all over this thing, dude. Wow.
It's
Young
jaded.
Bucks, the Young Bucks, the couple years in a row before, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix before that, the Young Bucks before that. Dude, this has been like the Young Bucks award going clear back to the Shield.
What year
2013.
did Pentagon and Ray Phoenix win it?
I thought that was kind of random too. That was in 2000 and 19.
Okay,
so besides 2019 and last year, the Young Bucks have won this going clear back to the Shield in 2013, I believe.
So for the sake of argument, let's say Pentagon and Phoenix have been with AEW since 2021, 22.
Okay.
Who the hell knows what they did in 2019?
I,
And it's not against the like. I'm
No,
just trying
I
to
was
think.
surprised by this.
I think this is an Uncle Dave's list of who he thinks. You can say whatever voters in the world, but who he thinks, because clearly he's an international guy, and there's
No,
nothing
Bill,
wrong with that.
this is by the readers, the Wrestling Observer newsletter.
I beg to differ. How many readers knew who Ray Phoenix and Pentagon were? And I take it back. I don't know. I don't want to say how many readers knew who they were. How many of those readers do you think actually watched matches of theirs, or just voted off of what they read from the Wrestling Observer?
Well, they took the home. They took the. It was 2019 when they won. So you're
Yeah.
going back to 2019. I don't know. AEW is new and fresh. Maybe were they there? I don't even remember.
No, AEW's 5 years old, and they didn't start there. They weren't there for the beginning.
See, I didn't. I did not watch at that point in time. But it's the Young Bucks. Okay, Young Bucks award basically.
Yeah.
Let's take a guess of who won it. The first one in 1980. Who would you guess?
1980, Midnight Express.
Good guess. I mean, obviously they're going to be. It's Freebirds.
Okay,
Freebirds.
there you go.
Yep. So
I'll take
that was
that.
fun. Tag teams kind of like it slipped, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was making a big comeback on some of the. I'm like not a big comeback. Okay, let me restart. I thought it was making a comeback. Right. We had some good tag teams forming and stuff over the last couple of years. It's kind of died off pretty hard.
Yeah, Vince hated tag teams.
Why did Vince McMahon hate tag team wrestling, do you think?
Well, it depends on who you speak to. A lot of it was because you had to fly at least 2 people in instead of flying 1 performer in, right? It was always, you had 6 tag teams sitting in the back. You had 12 people not doing anything, as opposed to 6 people not doing anything. And he didn't think tag teams were a draw.
Tragic. Let's move on. Best on interviews. If you had a guess, who would win best on interviews?
John Moxley, Cody Rhodes.
Not quite. Hold
on, give me one more. Give me one more. Becky Lynch.
No, sir. Becky Lynch didn't make the list. Okay, so best on interviews. Eddie Kingston takes the win on this one. Second place, MJF. Third place, and who I thought should have won, Christian Cage. John Moxley fourth, which I like John Moxley, but I'm not a John Moxley interview fan.
No,
I will say that.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes at number 5, Bryan Danielson at number 6. I don't mind Bryan Danielson on the interviews. I don't think I wouldn't have him in the top 10 probably. Will Ospreay at number 7, CM Punk at number 8, LA Knight's clear at number 9, and Don Callis at number 10. A couple honorable mentions: Samoa Joe, Sami Zayn. Paul Heyman's in there. I think Ricky Starks is in here.
So what we're getting from this is that Eddie Kingston was a better promo than MJF.
Yes, sir.
I call hogwash.
You don't like him? You don't like Eddie Kingston's promos?
No, I think Eddie's delivery and everything. Eddie has his own flavor to it. He's very believable. Shoots from the hip. And when he speaks, it's good. But MJF was the king of the microphone in 2023.
Some people are saying, why isn't R-Truth on the list?
Well, because I
think he was out for most of 2023.
I think he was looking for the 24/7 belt all of 2023, and we didn't get to hear him talk.
Yeah, he's chasing that down.
But I think MJF, hands down, was the microphone leader. That's just me, but I get it.
Dave has some comments he's going to throw in on this, so let's read some of it. So, you know what surprised me? And I'm not really surprised. Maybe there's not like a good award for him, or that category would be LA Knight. Dave does kind of touch up on this a little bit, though. He says that Eddie Kingston was an interesting pick in a very close race over MJF. While I believe as far as 2 or 3 months promo guy, Kingston is the best in the business as far as full-timers today. I actually thought he didn't get enough opportunities to talk to win this award even. See what else he goes on to say here. MJF got tons of time and finished second. Cage was outstanding in his role. Like he couldn't be better as a role player as a top heel. He He has great lines and delivery, of course. A lot of people questioned how much time he was giving. And he says it's also notable that Knight was the one guy who went from nothing to a major star based on entirely on promo delivery. His lines were hardly like what most of the guys in the top 10 had, but he sold merch, got huge reactions, and no matter where you went, people were doing his "yeah" as a replacement
But
for
that doesn't make you a
decades of.
top promo guy because you're selling merchandise.
He says Callis and Dominic Mysterio got the most heat during their promos.
Okay.
I really wanted Christian Cage to win this one, Bill.
Well, I mean, hands down. What's the? I don't know what the things are. Is it believability? Is it delivery? Is it what? Because then we got a case to argue every single person on the thing, and Christian Cage should be number one if you're talking about believability and just delivering promo after promo.
It just says best on interviews, Bill, so I can't help you there. I guess your opinion of that. It could be a million different reasons.
Yeah. So
that's what makes it so great.
Let me ask you this. Eddie Kingston won with how many votes?
Oh, you would ask 199.
And who was second?
1,483 points, though.
Okay, who was second?
MJF.
With how many votes?
140. But he was close on points.
And where was Christian in the points with Eddie Kingston?
He was quite a bit away.
Hogwash.
But he had more votes than MJF. But not close on points, though. Bill, I'm trying to explain this here. I can't explain it because I don't know.
That's why I'm kind of like having a little bit of fun.
Who would you say, Bill, is the best interview of the year? I said Christian Cage. You said you agree with that? Or MJF?
I would go MJF for me as the best interview of the year.
I certainly can't argue with that. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's kind of cool and neat to go back through and see who's won this before. MJF won it years prior. Daniel Bryant's actually been on here. Chris Jericho, Eddie Kingston before. CM Punk's on here. Paul Heyman's on here. Conor McGregor's on here several times during the mid 2010s era. Of course, Austin and all that. But guess who's on here quite a bit also in the 80s? He was a manager.
Jimmy Hart.
He is, but who's even more in that? It's another Jim.
Another Jim?
Yes.
That's a manager?
Yes.
Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
He may have won this award more than anybody.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
See, but those you can't argue with that.
No.
You can't, like, that's when you go back to those years, you can't argue with that. The rest of these are subjective to what you watch.
Yes.
So
this is where it gets interesting. Promotion of the year. So, Bill, before I get into this, let's talk about previous winners. Oh, boy. So, wow. I'm trying to really dig deep here.
I never know what to think when you say, oh, boy.
Well, AEW's had it ever since it existed. New Japan Pro had it from 2010 through 2018. UFC's been in there 2011, and UFC basically from 2006 to 2011. WWE's last victory here came in the year 2020. 2000, excuse me. 2000. So we're about 24 years removed from WWE winning this. Well, this year they did. They did, Bill. They did the impossible. They dethroned AEW for promotion of the year. They had 406 votes. Clear winner here. New Japan, obviously, AEW was a second. New Japan Pro, as you probably could have guessed, was third. CMLL was fourth. UFC fifth. All Japan Pro Wrestling sixth. Stardom seventh. Impact eighth. Dragon Gate ninth. After a record-setting year when it came to big show viewership and gates, and being amongst the most consistent rating draws on television, the WWE captured this award over AEW, which had won it the past 3 years. WWE's success with multiple stadium shows, creating major matches throughout the year and pulling away from AEW after at times was a very close competitive race. It was the first time WWE had won this award since the Attitude Era. It's a combination of the turnaround and the struggles at the box office from AEW and New Japan Pro and Stardom. WWE takes home the award for Promotion of the Year.
Where's NXT?
Does that count? No, no. We're going to get to best weekly shows. It's under WWE Promotion.
Oh, okay. I always
Yep.
look at
So
it
promotion,
different.
bro.
Okay,
Like company, best
Gotcha.
wrestling company of the year, WWE.
gotcha.
You were going to go with Stardom, though. I think
I would never go with Stardom.
NWA not getting any love, are they?
NWA getting nothing.
Yeah, they don't. They don't in this newsletter. By the way, they won't.
Ring of Honor never nothing.
Well, I mean,
Well, he puts over the Young Bucks and stuff. Like
yeah, I mean, calling that a yeah. It's well, I don't know. Can you call it now? AEW owns it, so is it still a promotion?
Oh, that's right.
You
So
know?
it's
I
under
don't
their
know.
banner. Yep.
It's you can't argue that. I don't know how you could have argued it last year. I didn't know that it was that close. What did he say? At times, a very close race. I never got the feeling that we were having a close race for as far as being a business of the year in wrestling. But apparently, it's been a close race. But WWE finally pulled ahead.
But I think it's subjective. Like, there's no way that AEW beat WWE the year before.
Oh, it did.
And money and fans and gate and anything. So it's all subjective to what Uncle Dave's feeling.
A lot of Japan.
A lot of Japan.
Mostly Japan. The very first one in 1983 goes to Jim Crockett Promotions. Then basically Japan ran it the rest of the time until the Attitude Era.
But after 24-year hiatus, they're back.
Yep. They finally won. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
They were not the best for 24 years. I thought it was interesting. It's always interesting when he throws UFC in on here.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, kind of weird, but yeah. Apparently, the wrestlers of this have not won it. We're really clear back to Brock Lesnar almost, but nevertheless. Yeah. Match of the year. What was your favorite match from 2023? Do you remember?
My favorite match of the year. I think anything at the time when the Bloodline was smoking hot. I think anything that.
You wouldn't. So, would you say the Cody Rhodes main event at WrestleMania was? Would you say that the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn tag team match with the Usos was?
Well, you know what? I liked Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes in the when Cody had his torn pec.
Was that last year or was it the year before?
That was that the year before? Or was it last year?
I think he fought. I think he rivaled with Lesnar last year, right?
Yeah.
You're going back to before.
I went too far back.
You went too far back.
Yeah.
Match of the year, though. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, January 4th, the Tokyo Dome. Second match of the year, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. It was 6/25, so what's that, June 25th in Toronto. MJF versus Bryan Danielson on the 3rd of March. Excuse me, the 5th of March is the third place one in San Francisco. See, it's hard for me without you just telling me a name of when it was. I don't know by the date.
Yeah.
I sure wish I was that good, though, because I'm not. Swerve Strickland and Adam Page get on here. FTR versus White and Robinson get on here. Now, I think if this is the match that I remember from Collision, excellent tag team match. It's one of the best tag team matches I've seen, honestly. It was a really great match. Do you remember that FTR?
With Juice and Jay White? Yeah,
really
I think
good
so.
match.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, amazing match. Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Bryson get on here. Will Ospreay gets on here again. Gunther, but at 10th place, notable here. Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, the 5-star match at WrestleMania.
Great match. Yep.
Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay do have some good matches, Bill.
Apparently. To be honest, I've yet to see one.
Oh.
I've heard about it. I've seen clips, but I've never seen a full, like,
They're
I don't
good.
know. And again, I don't know if we'll see one in AEW.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I only go by what I read or what's being said by other insiders, and what Omega's health is still up and questionable, right? Of what he's capable of doing.
You're a very special man, Bill DeMott. Don't take the spotlight away from Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. I do hope Kenny Omega is getting well, and we'll see.
Heck yeah, I hope he's feeling great. I just
Swerve Strickland versus Adam Page in November. I did enjoy that too.
So they got on the what number were they on the list?
4th. They were right above the FTR tag team
So
match.
they got 4th on a match that happened almost at the end of the voting.
Yes, sir. I did like that Sheamus match with Gunther and Drew McIntyre.
I thought it was spectacular.
I'm not a big triple threat guy, as you know. I have a hard time getting into that, but that was really good, I thought.
Yep.
Honorable mentions here: Jon Moxley and Adam Page, Will Ospreay.
How can he be an honorable mention in a category he's already mentioned 3 times in?
Because it's matches, man. He was a part of so many great matches. You know what's crazy though? I don't see Okada on here.
Well,
that's probably pretty rare for Dave, I'd imagine. All right, best weekly television show. What do you think it is?
NXT.
You wish, Bill, in your dreams. AEW Dynamite with 430 votes. AEW Collision with 74. WWE SmackDown with 128, although it was really close. The overall points it didn't get there. CMLL Super gets the 4th. NXT's 5th. Raw is 6th. Poor Raw. I said SmackDown was 3rd, didn't I?
Yeah.
I mentioned that. Okay. AW Rampage 7th. New Japan on Axis got 8th. Impact got 9th. We Are Stardom got 10th. The NWA is not on here, buddy.
They hate them.
AEW Dynamite and Collision over SmackDown. Your thoughts?
Malarkey. My thought is that is malarkey.
Collision had some good stuff with CM Punk for a while, right? Was that last year?
But you're holding on to one guy. And
Samoa Joe was there.
2023.
They won Promotion of the Year.
On fire.
They won Promotion of the Year, WWE, but they couldn't get the best weekly show.
So how does that happen?
Well, this is how it happens. AEW captured the award for the 5th straight year, every year of its existence, and by a sizable margin. While Dynamite didn't grow in audience reach this year, while NXT and SmackDown showed great growth, Dynamite usually has more great matches than any other show, and that obviously has an impact on the vote balloting here. It was notable because SmackDown had the most major league feel, NXT had the best character development, and Raw was the platform where Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins got much stronger. But when it comes to wrestling matches, traditionally, that's what's going to come out on top here. And clearly, AEW is the top.
So what I just heard you tell me is that AEW is the best traditional wrestling show.
Yeah, ever since its existence. Before that, it was a lot of New Japan Pro. NXT and its back in your Bill DeMott days captured it.
You're gonna have to explain to me sometime, and it can be anytime this year when you feel like there's a good enough answer, and explain to me what a traditional wrestling show is, and
with traditional wrestling.
How does AEW fall into that category?
It's traditional wrestling, of course. I won't. The MMA fight of the year. Well, we won't go over that.
John Jones.
Nope. I don't even know if John Jones had a match last year. That might be a Chad Michael question. I don't know.
Come on, Chad.
But he's good enough to get the fighter of the year, wasn't he? Category B awards, Bill. This is winner determined by first place votes. United States/Canada MVP. Cody Rhodes at number 1. Bryan Danielson number 2. MJF number 3. Roman Reigns number 4. Moxley's at 5. Orange Cassidy's at 6. Omega at 7. CM Punk at 8. Seth Rollins at 9. Sami Zayn at 10. Honorable mention, one less vote than Sami Zayn is Christian Cage.
And what is this for?
The United States and Canada MVP guy. A?
A boat? What's this about?
Yeah, this is actually a newer award, the last like 5-6 years or something. But
Yeah, he should throw this one out the window.
it's very weird because and it goes back to like what I said earlier. Just I think it's by regional impact on those other category A awards, because here it's showing, different results. So let's go into the Japanese though. Will Ospreay and I won't even tell you anybody else because you won't know them. Okada's number 2. Okay.
Ospreay and Okada.
Yep.
Where's Takeshita?
3.
Where's Nakamura?
Well, he's not a Japanese. I don't know.
He wrestled in Japan last year.
I don't know.
Where's Tajiri? Where's Funaki?
Yeah, not on here, Bill.
Where's Pat Tanaka?
Not on here. Where's Hulk Hogan? Not on here.
Hey, Hogan had some of his best matches in Japan.
That's why I was saying it. I know he did. Okay, Mexico MVP. Mystico. Vikino is number 2. How do you feel about him?
I don't. I know there was a lot of buildup.
Yeah.
Vikingo, and then he kind of, I don't know if it's injury or what. The thing that AEW does better than anybody else is they acknowledge nothing except big news.
Huge news.
The fans tell you when someone's no longer on the roster. The fans will tell you when someone's injured. The fans will tell you that the AEW acknowledges nothing but big news.
You said they acknowledge the best thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
To be honest, I'm not a Vikingo fan.
Mystico?
Yeah. The Sin Cara.
Exactly. I was just testing you there.
Yeah.
Sin Cara. We've talked about him on this show.
My guy, yeah.
Talked about how he lost his name. Which is I don't know how that happened.
So now that we're talking about the Mexican wrestlers, this whole CMLL angle they tried for a couple of weeks, what a fart in church that was.
Yeah.
It was an absolute fart.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best thing ever. Why did you think it was why did you think it was so horrendous?
One, it didn't go anywhere. 2, it was the same thing every week. What was the payoff? And now to me, from what I've watched, is there's no more mention of it or anything. So I don't know if it was just for a big blowout show in Mexico or what, but
thank you we got to still have a bunch of people watching this live. This is the Build-A-Mod experience. Right now, what we're doing live on the air here is I say on the air like it's radio, but you know what I mean. We're going over the Wrestling Observer Newsletter 2023 awards. Bill has not agreed with a single one yet. That's how I would summarize how this is played out.
You've got it exactly right. I've agreed with nothing.
You agreed with the Cody Rhodes Canada USA winner. You just don't.
Yeah.
You just don't agree with the award.
Yeah. I think if he was going to do it and make it make sense to everyone, he should have Japan's version of these categories, Mexico's versions of these categories, U.S. versions, Canadian versions. Then at least you could go, okay. But
Will Ospreay won the European one too. It's important.
Of course he did.
So yeah, that's a good point about Nakamura, right? I guess he could have qualified all along. Dang it!
Yeah.
Oh man, the drama behind these awards is just insane.
It's getting deep now.
It's getting deep. Let's get deep. The Hodge Award for non-heavyweight MVP. First of all, tell us what that means to you, having like the Hodge Award.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say naturally named after the great Danny Hodge.
Yeah, of course.
So I would think it's got to be somebody who's rough and tumble, tough. The fact that you say non-heavyweight award.
That's what it's called. So it's Hodge Award / non-heavyweight.
So MVP. Which one of these awards were heavyweight awards so far? You're going to name the same people in the non-heavyweight category as you did in the.
I am not though. I am not. There's a twist.
Okay, then I'm interested.
So the ultimate non-heavyweight MVP after great Danny Hodge, Vikino number 1.
Jeez,
I'm just going names you would know. Takeshita, you know him.
He's
Darby
not a
Allin.
heavyweight.
I could be. I don't know what I'm reading here. Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Mystico, Brian Danielson's on here. Rocky Romero's on here. Honorable mention: Carmelo Hayes gets the nod. Ray Phoenix gets the nod. Rey Mysterio gets one of the nods here. Yeah.
Okay.
Vikino is the non-heavyweight MVP. Women's. This one's got to be easy.
Okay.
This will be one you get right. The first one you get right tonight. It's not Nia Jax either, Bill. Don't try to say that. Even though she's had a good comeback.
Tell you she had a hell of a comeback. Top woman of the year.
Yep.
Rhea Ripley.
Absolutely. Easily. Becky Lynch at 5th, Toni Storm at 6th. A lot of Japanese representation here. Which, I'll be honest, I do watch Japanese wrestling. I do not watch really any Japanese women's wrestling. No particular reason. I just, how much wrestling can a guy watch, right? Not as much. I mean, obviously, Dave watches way more. But Rhea Ripley, easily winner here. Let's talk about that year real quick, from the Royal Rumble onward to being the leader of the Judgment Day. How great of a year she had last year.
For anyone who said when Rhea made her debut on the main roster, like if you didn't know from that match she had with Charlotte Flair, from that point on, that if you did not think that Rhea Ripley was not going to be a player, wow, did you miss the boat? I mean, she is amazing. And she has become such a student of the game. She speaks well. She looks phenomenal. She acts the part. She is the part. She became the leader of the Judgment Day with all these other veteran guys that have been around.
Yeah.
They handed her the ball. Literally, this is give me the ball and let me see what I can do with it. She's a killer, dude. She's the top female in the game right now. She's amazing.
I agree with you. What an amazing year. I think
and I think this year is going to be another great year for her.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about WrestleMania and stuff like that as we get back into the show here after taking a couple weeks off. But the year that she had was incredible. I think she was really great, obviously, before, but it was just like she needed to get to that next level. And oh boy, was she able to do that. And it's just, obviously some help working with good people, but man, just her creativity also is through the roof, not just her work.
But you know what that next level is for me? Confidence. If we were to go back and watch a match from 2022 and compare it to the same time in 2023, we'd see a totally different young lady, because her confidence now, I feel, is what propels her above everybody else, because now she's not phoning it in. She's not a lot of people, even veteran men and women, have a tendency to play wrestler or to play their character. Rhea's in the pocket, man. She's in such a groove.
Chad Michael's a big Rhea fan. He has her poster up in his room.
Chad.
I know he could get in trouble with that.
Chad.
But yeah, I think she's great. Becky Lynch, obviously, is on here. Toni Storm, who's, for the weird year that the women's divisions had there, very weird, is also on the list.
So I'm gonna get in trouble. This is where you get mad at me for a minute. I'm just gonna throw it out there. We don't have to talk about it. But what did that whole thing at the end of last night's show say about Toni Storm? She doesn't even matter. Moving on. We'll get back to it.
You got to tear them down to build them up.
I'm giving Chad something to think about until we talk about it again.
Try to just make something up here. You got to tear them down to build them up, Bill. I don't know. The questions you ask are just too hard.
Stupid questions.
Rhea Ripley, clear winner here. Had to be a runaway over anything else. I don't know how it could be. Right. Most improved. Take a guess. I think you could guess it.
Is it men and women or just?
There's men and women on the list. Yeah, just think. Okay, tell me a women won it, but just tell me a man that you think of who also improved significantly.
I think in my eyes, not that he wasn't good before, but I think he got significantly better. And I guess more notoriety, in my opinion, is Orange Cassidy.
Okay, so Orange Cassidy is not on here. I was trying to give you an easy win here, getting Dominic Mysterio, who's number 2. Julia Hart's number 1. I can't argue with that. Great improvements.
Yep.
Mariah May's number 3. Let's
Disagree
see here.
with that.
Who else would you know? Swerve Strickland, number 5. Can't argue with that. I think he's actually came in really hot into the first couple months of this year.
Yeah.
So if you back that up a little bit, he might take that one home.
Yeah.
But on the same point as saying that, you know who else could be in that same discussion, like I just said, would be Trick Williams, who's number 7 here.
Yes.
So those guys stuck out to me. Trick Williams, Swerve Strickland. I'm not going to argue with Dominic and Julia Hart because they continue to get better. But I think if we had an award from beginning of 2023 to now, 2024, those two guys would be going at it for top.
Yeah, I agree. And again, so you see what the subject matter is. I think Julia Hart has definitely gotten better because we've seen more of her. I would put Swerve at the top of that list as definitely, I think, not changing people's minds, getting people more to pay attention to him. And Trick Williams to me is just he's going to be a special cat for a bunch of years to come.
Tiffany Stratton's on the honorable mention.
Yes.
So is Daniel Garcia, your guy Daniel Garcia.
Nah. That poor guy.
He got that big match, man.
Somebody's dealing him dirt.
The rankings. Yeah, a lot of people up and coming here. I'm surprised you don't even. Excuse me. I'm surprised you don't even see more with NXT on here. Nevertheless, most charismatic. Who would you guess?
MJF.
Yep, with 162 votes, MJF. Second place, Roman Reigns with 88 votes. Third place, Kento is third, 81. Trying to pick out some other names. Cody Rhodes number 5, Eddie Kingston number 6, Orange Cassidy and CM Punk are tied at 7.
Okay.
Swerve Strickland at 8, LA Knight at 9, Dominic Mysterio at 10.
Okay.
Honorable mentions: Jon Moxley and Christian Cage, Sami Zayn.
I don't disagree with the beginning of that list.
I'm going to look who the previous winners was here. I'm curious now because MJF 2022, CM Punk 2021, MJF 2020, Chris Jericho 2019. Okay.
Sami Zayn should have won it for 2022.
That's what I was going to say. For 2020 for 2022.
Yeah.
And like I said, if that would have went into the early part of 2023, dude, he was huge.
Yeah, he was on fire.
I still can't help but wonder what would happen if he would have actually won that title at Fastlane. They'll never be able to get that back.
No, you can't recreate that. And I think a lot of it is.
You ever seen anybody so organically hot?
No.
Daniel Bryan's the only person I could think of, really.
No.
Goldberg would be another one.
But when you have to start, I feel like there's a lot of.
But they pushed Goldberg. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
But they pushed Goldberg. But But I'm thinking of before that, Daniel Bryan would be the one that defined the odds. 14 years ago, whatever.
But I think Sammy had it. And I feel like at the time, maybe people in the back thought, oh, because he has it, we can get it back at any time. And you can't. And I think that's why sometimes I feel like we're being force-fed certain characters, both WWE, AEW, NXT, across the board. I think sometimes they're force-feeding it to us, trying to reclaim some of that specialness that they had at the time. So I don't think Sammy will ever get that back again.
They're trying, though.
Yeah.
Well, not trying to that level, but you think he'll beat Gunther?
No. Sammy's not the guy to beat Gunther.
Well, Sammy,
in my opinion.
If you could go back in time now, do you think that Sami Zayn should have beat Roman Reigns at Fastlane?
Yes.
I do too.
Yes.
Which is really hard to say because of the storyline and everything going on.
It's stuff that's brilliant, but that was, if you were ever going to do it, that was it.
He was there was nothing bigger. After that Royal Rumble, when that was one of the loudest pops I've ever heard when he hit him in the back with that chair.
It was good.
Absolutely insane.
And it was well deserved. Sammy worked hard for that.
I remember showing Austin Aries that, and he does not watch anything anymore. And he was impressed with that pop.
Yeah.
We hit him with that. We showed it on the show, I think, if I remember correctly. But Okay, so there is actually an award here, the Best Technical Wrestler Award. It's also called the Bryan Danielson Award. Notably so. He has won it throughout his career. Most of the time, it's been Bryan Danielson. Zack Sabre Jr. I see in here quite a bit. Who else do we see in here? Gosh, Bill, it's been Bryan Danielson since Chris Benoit. Bryan Danielson and Chris Benoit are who's won this award more than anybody. Bob Backlund won the first one in 1980. So this year, Bryan Danielson won it, 549 votes. Zack Sabre Jr. 427. Josh Alexander was 17. Sabre Jr. and Daniel Bryan, that's actually their story, right?
I got to be honest. I'm not that much in tune with Zack Sabre Jr. I'm not.
He's had good matches with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, and I've heard that, and I've seen. Like I said, you can go anywhere and see a clip of it, but I haven't sat through a whole match or a series of matches, or anything like that. I think it is interesting that TNA finally gets a nod with Josh Alexander in there.
He's very good. They kind of had the story going with Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. I think they're going to be like one more match to see who the best is, you know?
But that's what he's doing with Ospreay, right?
Yeah.
So every match that Danielson's going to be in is to see who's the best?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
That's kind of his thing in AEW,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In WWE, he kind of had this like man against the world
Yep.
theme. In AEW, it's been I'm just the best damn wrestler theme.
Yeah.
Which in its own is probably not enough for a compelling storyline, but it obviously is for the people that consume the product. So,
Yeah.
Bruiser Brody Memorial Award, Best Brawler, also previously known as that. Who would you guess?
Gunther.
No, sir.
Let me give you 3 guesses.
Okay.
Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Jon Moxley.
Jon Moxley is the clear winner on this one with 383. Adam Page is number 3. I'm just going off people you'll know. Eddie Kingston 4, Gunther 5. Samoa Joe and Sheamus, tied at 9th. Jon Moxley, by definition, that's what he does, right? I guess. He comes out to Wild Thing, he gets in a fight, right?
Yeah.
He gets in a brawl.
Yeah.
And there will be blood.
Yeah.
Hey, Brittany on TikTok.
Hi, Brittany. TikTok.
Hi. Oh yeah, let's stop for shout outs for a minute. We have Steve on Twitter. Jim said hey on Twitter. Of course, Chad Michael's out there. And we got a bunch of other people. It's crazy. We're at 350 people watching across all the platforms.
Come on, yeah.
They haven't left, surprisingly. I don't know why, because
they're waiting to hear the
they're waiting to see your reaction to these awards. Is what's happening. They're loving it, by the way.
Golly.
Where were we at? Oh, Bruiser Brody Award. We've never talked about Bruiser Brody, so this award's named after him, notably so, brawling guy, the top guy on that. So your thoughts on Bruiser Brody?
But when I hear Brody,
well, you've spent some time in Puerto Rico and his stomping grounds, right?
Well, I was there after.
But
yes,
still though.
Yes. And I say very respect. Unfortunately, I got the full story and all that stuff that really changed my thought process in Puerto Rico. But when I hear the Bruiser Brody Award, I'm thinking about big men that bang. That's what I personally am thinking about. I made sure to watch Brody stuff. I was, as a former big man, I tried to watch all big guy stuff. That's what I was drawn to, and that's what I tried to copycat and steal from and get better at. So it's not a knock at all, but I don't see Moxie as a Bruiser Brody guy. I understand the premise of what he does, that rough and tumble thing, but that's why I went right away to like a Gunther or a Sheamus or I go to the big guys. Excuse me, even like Samoa Joe or someone like that. But
little Billy's watching on TikTok.
He better not be on TikTok.
He is. He better get to bed. School
Son
night.
of a gun. No, they're on spring break starting today. That's why.
Oh, see, that's coming. That's upcoming. Well, it's always spring in Florida. Damn it! It doesn't matter.
It's summer now.
Best flying wrestler is what it's called. I'd call high flying, but Vikino. Wow, man, he's a clear winner here.
You gotta
509.
help. You gotta help me, Jeff. You gotta help me. Explain it. I don't even care who 2, 3, 4, and honorable mention are. How does Viking go?
Well, El Hijo del Vikino.
I know who he is.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you, why don't I like his matches? That's just what he does. He just kind of does these spots and he does this lucha style mix off.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I look at it and it's entertaining, but I'm not gonna want to watch that over some other historical wrestlers from Mexico that have been in major wrestling promotions. But
Yeah. I'm just stuck on.
yeah, I don't know why he gets quite the rub on this.
Yeah.
I do think that this award has been. I don't think we think about it as much as we used to, the high flying stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
Because,
is
well,
that
you know
because we
why?
don't see it?
Because now we burnt out on it.
Is that because we don't see it as much, or is that because everybody's doing it? I'll let you determine that.
No,
but-
you the second part, the latter is you see it all the time. There's no such thing as high flying anymore. Women do it, men do it. Everybody's doing these things. Everybody's coming off the top with these ridiculous maneuvers and amazing things, but you see it so much now. There's no such thing. Like Rey Mysterio is not special anymore. This LWO thing, all these Dragon Lee. Unfortunately,
you love the LWO.
As good as they are, you see it every match. You see these things all the time. So
Every single
I think we've become numb to it now. It's just, it's another thing, you know.
I'm not going to argue with that. I will say Will Ospreay comes in second. Ray,
In high flyers,
yes, sir. Bill, Will Ospreay is the total package. Are you not getting that yet? We have gone through these damn awards for an hour now, and you still have not picked up on the fact that Will Ospreay is the total package, dude.
I'm slowly picking up on it. I just
What
followed
more
him
do I
on
need
Twitter.
to read to you? We can't even cover. It's 30 pages. I can't get to it all.
I'm gonna.
We're gonna power through a little bit more before we call it a night. But
Okay.
nevertheless, how are you still questioning? Will Ospreay's really good. He does do some high flying stuff, but then again, though, he doesn't just do high flying stuff. So this award's a little bit tricky on what you're gonna do. But Ray Phoenix is third. Commander, your favorite, is fifth.
Yep.
And Mystico's eighth, and you won't know anybody else on here.
El
I don't know if you know
Torito.
Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid.
No,
Okay, never mind.
my son would want El Torito to win.
Well, your son would be disappointed. Yeah, I think Vikino's probably had the biggest platform to.
Well, I'm a fan now. I'm gonna follow him, and I'm gonna follow Will Ospreay on TikTok or Twitter or whatever.
Most overrated.
Vikingo.
No, he's not. Let's see here. Trying to Sanada? I'm trying to think of who that is. Who is that? Sanada.
That's a guy from December 25th. He comes every year. Santa Claus.
No, I gotta look. I'm starting to question who it is. Roman Reigns is number second. CM Punk is number third. I guess he didn't even really have a match. Tyrus is number 4. Is it last year we had his last match?
This past year, yeah.
Oh boy. Austin Theory number 6, Nia Jax 7, Chris Jericho 8, LA Knight 9th, and Jake Lee 10th. Most overrated.
Okay.
This has to be a person, the most overrated from New Japan Pro.
Santana? Wasn't he the colonel in
No,
Alamo?
No, Bill, no.
Didn't he attack the Alamo?
I knew immediately what you were going to say when you said that. Just from my dad. No, Bill, no. It's from New Japan Pro, yeah.
Okay.
He's a member of a stable, I think. Yeah, the 5 guys stable thing.
Oh yeah.
He's the guy that held the title forever, the world heavyweight title forever.
I got nothing.
I'm trying.
He's overrated.
Overrated, somebody said. Yeah, I mean, he didn't even do anything last year.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he could be rated. He's so good, I guess he can be. The Miz is on here, Bianca Belair, and Saraya is on here.
Where's she been?
Where's the whole women's division, man? We could go down that rabbit hole, though. We're not going to do that tonight.
We're not doing that.
The
These are
Miz,
questions for Chad for later.
Ronda Rousey's been on here before. Bray Wyatt's been on here. Randy
As
Orton's been on here.
overrated?
Yes. Kane has been on here a lot. I mean,
Wow,
a lot. Hulk Hogan, a lot.
What have they ever done?
Ultimate Warrior.
Overrated.
Dude, Dusty Rhodes.
Overrated.
I mean, it's crazy how many times some of these people. Hulk Hogan's been on here, and Great Khali even got the award.
He should still be
Triple H. Triple H got the award.
Overrated.
Triple H. King Corbin got the award.
Harley Race, Ric Flair, overrated. Ricky Steamboat, overrated.
Oh gosh, Bob Backlund got it before.
Way overrated.
Eric Watts, 1991. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Overrated.
Yeah, that one's more true. Sure, he's a nice guy.
A great guy.
Ultimate Warrior's on here a lot too, man. I'll tell you. Most underrated. Who do you want to guess? You could guess this. You like him a lot.
MJF?
No.
Orange Cassidy?
It's a WWE guy. All day, every day. Who do you would think of WWE right now? Who's the most underrated person?
Wow.
Not Young Bucks, Chad Michael. No. They're rated, brother. They're rated 7 stars.
Underrated.
Yeah,
Chad
man.
Gable.
Yep. Chad Gable.
Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah, most underrated.
Yep. You can't argue with that. Who else we got on here? Takeshita.
I think Chad Gable should be the one to beat Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, they could have pulled that trigger, Bill.
They could have. They won't get that back again.
No, they won't. Daniel Garcia's on here. Ricochet's on here. Commander's on here. Britt Baker and Adam Page. Bunch of honorable mentions. A crap ton.
Wardlow on there?
No.
Or is he on the overrated list?
I don't even see Wardlow on anything that we've done.
Exactly.
Now that I come to think about it, I have not seen him anywhere.
Exactly.
Ricky Starks is on honorable mention. Tyler Bate. Thank goodness he's Tyler Bate again. I like that way better.
Yeah.
First ever, this is 1980. Who do you think won this award in 1980? Most underrated.
Underrated, Ricky Steamboat.
Iron Sheik.
Was underrated?
That's what it says. Yep. 1981, Buzz Sawyer.
Buzz Sawyer, yeah.
I'll be damned. Rookie of the Year. You don't know any of the people. Moving on.
I got to know someone on that list.
Okay, yeah, you do. Billy Starks is on here.
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, well, that might be the end of what you'd know then. Action Andretti.
Is a Rookie of the Year?
Second place.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who else you would. No, I don't even know half of them. So
boo. We boo that category.
We boo that category. Best non-wrestler. Who is it?
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman's number 2 this year.
Don Callis.
He's number 1. Yep. So we also have Prince Nana on here, your boy.
Yep.
Renee Moxley is on here.
Yep.
Nick Aldis, Nigel McGuinness, Samantha Irvin. Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman and Jim Cornette have won this award a lot.
No Adam Pearce?
No, sir.
Son of a gun.
No Adam Pearce. This actually used to be called Manager of the Year until 1996.
Gotcha.
And it was Jim Cornette's.
Runaway.
Dude, it was from 1983 to 1996. The only other person that won it was Jimmy Hart in 83 and Sensational Sherry in 91. The rest are Jim Cornette.
Runaway.
Can't argue that.
Absolutely.
Best television announcer.
Evan Kelly.
Excalibur. Come back next week. Be sure to join us. Ah! That's my Excalibur impression. Did you hear Jim Cornette's rant on Excalibur winning this?
No, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, you're going to have to listen to it. Kevin Kelly's 3rd, actually. I'm trying to figure out who else here. Nigel McGuinness, 4. Michael Cole, 6. Tony Schiavone, 7th. Taz, 8th. Jim Ross, 9th. Jay Church, 10th. Honorable mention, Wade Barrett.
This Wrestling Observer is not a very big WWE.
No, it's not. Galata Gordon solely historically. Jim Ross a lot. Joey Styles, Mike Tenay,
Yeah,
all the people you think.
good group. Yeah.
Even William Regal got it in his back in NXT. That would have been NXT 2014, 2015.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's turn the page here. Worst television announcer. Who's got it?
Byron Saxton, Corey Graves.
Well, Byron Saxton is not on here. Maybe just because he didn't do it enough. Can you dig it, sucker? Number 1, Booker T. Kevin Patrick, number 2. Jim Ross, number 3. I mean, how could Jim Ross just does some main events every now and then? You know?
Who the hell puts Jim Ross on worst commentators?
90 voters did.
And how many voters put him on the other list? Was he on the other list of favorite?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
With how many votes?
11.
Oh.
This is pretty common, though, where they do overlap. So
Okay.
Michael Cole's number 4, Corey Graves number 5, Kevin Kelly 6, Chris Jericho 7, Matt Stryker 8, Vic Joseph 9, Tony Schiavone 10. Honorable mentions: Pat McAfee, Taz, and Excalibur. Also an honorable mention.
Pat McAfee is great.
Yeah, I feel like you can't even. He's a different category, right?
Yeah, you can't put him in that category.
He's supposed to be that goofy, silly guy that doesn't exactly. Yeah. Best wrestling show. Okay, hold on. Let's look at worst announcer historically here. Corey Graves, Michael Cole, Jonathan Coachman, Booker T, David Otunga. Well, he did do some stuff, didn't he?
Jeez.
JBL is on here a lot. Michael Cole is on here a lot. Yeah. Jerry Lawler is on here. Clear back in the day. David Crockett was a frequent winner of this in the 80s, which understandably so. Gorilla Monsoon used to get it all. He won this all the time. Or is it winning or is it losing? You tell me, Bill. I'm not sure. I didn't mind Gorilla Monsoon.
Gorilla Monsoon can't be in the losers.
That's what he is. I'm telling you. They say winners. It's like worst television announcer. You can't see it, I guess. Worst television announcer. And it's a winner. They call them winners.
And the winners are.
Yes. I mean, I don't make this stuff up.
You're the best at being the worst.
Best wrestling show of the year.
Dynamite.
You're probably thinking night 1 of WrestleMania. It was really good.
Well, I'm going by the rest of these.
Yeah, it's AEW Revolution in March. It was Forbidden Door. I know you're a big fan of that.
Nope.
That was second. Third was AEW All In London. Fourth was WWE WrestleMania Night 1. That was actually really freaking good, dude.
It was really good.
AEW and Ring of Honor on here also.
Boo.
WrestleMania Night 1 was really good, I thought.
Really good.
Previous winners of this: AEW, New Japan. Okay, well, let's find the last time WWE won this.
Okay. 1990.
2000. Okay. I can't argue with this because this night was amazing. 2011 Money in the Bank Chicago. You remember that?
Nope.
Punk, Cena? That was then, right?
Yes.
That was then, right? It had to have been.
If you tell me the match, yes.
Yeah, we got to leave. Punk was going to leave the company.
Yep.
Legitimately, almost did.
Yep.
I believe that's that. Was that 2010 or 2011? It had to be then, dude.
10?
Right? I got to look it up now. Because if it's not it, I got to remember what that was. 2011 Money in the Bank. But that was probably one of John Cena's best matches. The
one with Punk that you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's look at the main event here. Yep, CM Punk defeated John Cena for the championship. Great match, dude.
Good, man.
5-star match there. That was. What a maneuver! What a maneuver! Best wrestling maneuver. Who's going to win this?
Who's going to win this? The best wrestling maneuver. If I go by the rest of this list, I think the best wrestling maneuver comes from Orange Cassidy.
You would guess that, but in fact, number 1 and number 2 both go to Will Ospreay. The Hidden Blade and the Stormbreaker. Kenny Omega's Winning Angel is number 3. Vikino's got his second rope step up that he does.
Yeah.
That is number 4. Commander rope walk through shooting star number 5. Adam Page Buckshot Lariat number 6. People love that freaking book. It's so overdone now.
Where is Tiffany Stratton's prettiest moonsault in the history of the world?
It's not on here.
Jeez.
Ron Breaker gets honorable mention for his spear, though.
Yeah, because no one spears.
Darby Allin gets honorable mention for his tope.
Yeah, no one wears a tope anymore.
Cody Rhodes gets it for Cody Rhodes 8. I don't know what the hell that even is. What's Cody Rhodes 8? Dave, did you just like fall asleep here? Hit some buttons. What's Cody Rhodes 8? Somebody listen and tell me, please, what Cody Rhodes 8 is.
If anybody can tell us what Cody Rhodes 8 is, and not tell us
it's a typo.
It's the one before Cody Rhodes 9.
It's Crossroads. It's a typo.
Yeah.
Clearly. Most disgusting promotional tactic. We are almost there at the end of this that we're going to cover.
AEW talking about the death of that kid's father.
No. WWE enabling Vince McMahon and him being back in power, and TKO keeping him in position of power.
Oh, we're talking about real life stuff.
Yes.
Oh, then that wins.
Number 2, WWE's continued relationship with Saudi Arabia. Number 3, NWA cocaine spot. Power slaps. Number 4, and continuing on television after Dana White slapped his wife. Number 5, AEW signing Ric Flair. Apparently, that's a disgusting promotional tactic. Juice Robinson gets the nod on this one for his roll of quarters. TKO gets another one, ignoring Vince McMahon and Dana White's transgressions. WWE hiring CM Punk is number 9. And Sean Strickland's homophobic remarks are number 10. So yeah, honorable mention, Adam Page drinking Swerve Strickland's blood.
That was a little much.
You knew WWE was going to win this, and you can't really argue with it. But
once you told me it was based on reality, yes.
But I'm pretty sure they always win it, or they do most of the time. Let's see here. Promoting Jimmy Snuka as a hero. Saudi Arabia. WWE firing people during the pandemic. WWE exploiting the death of Bill Moody. Dude, it's all WWE. Yeah, this is a WWE. WWE's anti-bullying campaign. WWE making fun of Mickey James calling her Piggy James. WWE teasing Jeff Hardy's drug overdose. Okay, I got to go clear back to like 2007. TNA signing Pac-Man Jones.
I remember that.
That's, yeah. Worst television show. I'm just trying to hang in here and put this one to a bed. NWA Power, WWE Raw, WWE NXT, Power Slap, AEW Rampage, AEW SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, Ring of Honor. WWE Raw has won this award previously until NWA. They've won this award 11 straight years. WWE Raw has.
So the number 1 show on cable television has won the worst show.
Weekly episodic cable television. Yes. Worst non-wrestling personality. Apparently this is all previous awards. They don't do it anymore. It's McMahon's and Russo. worst manager, they quit doing it when Sonny Ono was on there. Worst match of the year. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight at the Royal Rumble. Was that glow in the dark? What was that called? The Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dew.
That was a clear winner. Tyrus versus EC3. Shane versus and Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg versus The Miz. They actually put that on here.
Gosh.
They put that on here. Oh gosh. Baron Corbin versus Gable Stevenson. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. Was that her going away match?
Well, they did it.
SummerSlam? Did they do that SummerSlam?
Yeah, that was her last match. Yeah,
that's ridiculous MMA match.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho. Jeff Jarrett versus Jeff Hardy. Julia Hart versus Abaddon. Who else do we got here? Yeah, I don't know how much more I could go through, Bill. I'm getting mentally exhausted.
I'm physically in pain from some of these.
There's some. Okay, it gets better. Worst feud of the year. MJF versus the Devil. Would you argue with that?
As worst feud of the year?
Yep, it won. Clearly won.
I would argue against that. I thought that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
Well, I'd argue. I wouldn't argue with the finish of it, but I'd argue with as it went along. I thought it was one of their best storytelling things they had.
Worst promotion of the year. NWA wins it by a mile.
Wow, they finally made
AAA gets second, WWE third. Control Your Narrative fourth. MLW fifth. Sometimes I forget about MLW.
And the fact that Control Your Narrative got on there is the worst promotion.
Yeah. Yep.
When it's
usually
not mentioned in anything else.
Historically speaking, let's look at who's won that one. WWE. Enough said. Best Booker. This is the big one that everybody's talking about. Tony Khan has won this award the last 3 years. Before that, it was a New Japan long-standing one. Really, WWE has been out of the picture on this for a while. Okay, no. Oh, Triple H won it with NXT in 2016.
Yeah.
Can't argue that one. But yeah, WWE got it Attitude Era a few times. And Jim Cornette would get it with OVW. But who do you think got it Booker of the Year this year?
I'm going to go with Triple H.
He did. Clear winner.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's second.
Yeah. I'm going to say that one's correct.
Tony Khan's to lose. And he did.
Yeah.
Promoter of the Year. So Nick Khan wins this. Tony Khan gets second. Dana White gets third. Yeah, I didn't really know how that worked out with the whole Nick Khan thing. But
is Nick Khan a promoter?
Okay, what's a promoter to you?
Someone who's
promoting. He's promoting.
Getting the shows out there and getting new.
Is that what he does? He's on TV all the time. Haven't you seen him?
I probably have missed him a little bit. It's kind of like a Waldo thing. Is he sitting in the audience and you got to find him?
He's not promoting during the show. It's all the other times.
Oh, then he's the guy.
Best gimmick. Who you think got it?
Best gimmick is the two outlandish cats with the long hair and the training bras that come out as a tag team.
Tony Storm, Christian Cage, Orange Cassidy.
Hands down, Tony Storm. Okay.
Yep, Tony Storm, Christian Cage, Orange Cassidy get the top three. The worst gimmick.
The two cats with the long hair that came from NXT with the sports bras.
The Devil, QTV, and Tony Storm. Tony Storm.
Wait a minute.
You can't win them all. MJF also was number 10 here. Best pro wrestling documentary: Dark Side of the Ring, Chris and Tammy. You watched Dark Side of the Ring?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I saw it, and it's.
I don't think I have any. I think that's enough for one day.
Yeah, you got missing there.
What an exhausting hour.
My gosh, that's
hour and 30 minutes apparently.
I'm actually considering canceling my subscription to the Wrestling Observer.
You'd have to have one to cancel it.
Oh, then I'm out. Yeah.
Are you surprised by anything we went over in this episode?
I am absolutely not surprised by any of it. I'm befuddled with a little bit of it, but I'm not surprised.
We still have this. These listeners have held on tonight, dude. They wanted to hear your thoughts on this. I
love our people, man. And like I like when we do this because it's a little bit of an education of I don't know if it's an education. I think this is I take it back. I was going to say maybe I'm learning something, but I'm not. I'm learning that the way I think about this business is still better than what you just read to me. So,
dude. Okay, so obviously I read this to PWI every year. It's I think WWE winning that promotion of the year is crazy. I don't think you understand how crazy it is for that to happen in that newsletter. So. And Paul and Triple H winning Booker, that stuff doesn't happen. So obviously, even the readers of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, who for the most part aren't big WWE fans, gave them the nod on several things this year.
Well,
that's one takeaway, and the second takeaway, and the most important takeaway is Will Ospreay is the top wrestler in the world right now.
And so why is it that? How did WWE not wind up with Will Ospreay? Was they not even in contention here?
I think they had discussions with him and Okada.
Oh, listen, just really quick. You're paying Okada $14 million.
14 million reasons, and they say something like that.
You're paying Okada $14 million
I don't know.
when more than half of your TV audience has no idea who this guy is.
The chat is flooded with Tony Khan comments, so I have to assume that goes back to the Booker. 7-star comments are made. A bunch
If
of
I trained, I'm going to train starting tomorrow for 3 months, and I'm going to make it come back. And I guarantee you I can make some big money coming up.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Maybe there'll be a best comeback award. You get that. That was fun, Bill. Not
good, man.
what the listeners really enjoy that stuff for whatever reason. I don't know. I guess it's fun.
We're entertaining. That's why.
I tell you what, I've got a headache after reading all that.
I'll tell you, you ain't whistling Dixie. I got a headache.
I'm feeling doozy. That was a fun one though. Of course, next week we can jump back into more of the current, content. But doing some stuff that people can go back and listen to forever is always fun too. And I think even though this was about the awards that happened last year, this will still be a fun listen for the listeners of the show, watchers, viewers, listeners of the show for years to come, Bill.
Yeah, and I think what we do differently than a lot of our fellow wrestling enthusiasts is we kind of take it down. We branch off to different roads once in a while because sometimes we're all talking about the same thing all at once, right? So we bring a fresh topic in and kind of give everybody a little levity to the whole thing. And so I really enjoyed it. I'm grateful to everybody that hung out there the whole time and everybody who's back with us. And like you said, we were away for a few weeks, but it's always family first. And we take care of that, but it's good to be back. And this was a good one, but you got me. I got a headache.
Yep, you're going to be dreaming about Will Ospreay's finishing moves tonight.
I'm gonna. You watch tomorrow. I guarantee you, on your way to work, you're gonna pick up your Twitter machine. You're gonna go, son of a gun. I'm gonna tweet Will Ospreay first thing in the morning. Go, good morning, Will, and congratulations on all your accolades in Wrestling Observer.
He won them all. He is really good.
He is good,
and he is the definition of what Dave Meltzer likes, though. I mean, he really is the living definition of what Dave Meltzer likes. Right or wrong, I'm not saying. I like Will Ospreay. I would have liked to seen him WWE. If I had to pick him or Okada, that's tough. I think they could both do good stuff. I mean, I'd probably pick him, but Okada's would have been great doing NXT stuff, I feel like, too.
Yeah, I think
it's not a bad thing when I say NXT either.
No, there's I just said it the other night with LWO on the NXT program. That's where they do the same thing on the quote unquote main roster on Raw and SmackDown that they do at NXT. But there's this vibe in NXT and there's this energy that's different in NXT. And some people are just built stronger for NXT. And I think Okada would have been one of those guys. And I think Will Ospreay is definitely more suited for a Raw SmackDown version. So being geared for NXT is not a bad thing at all.
And more people watch it than Dynamite. So
yeah. So it's going to be, this year started off good. I'm excited to see what we talk about and what we do going into Mania. It's just, right around the corner now. So good way to get back into it, man.
Well, Bill, I'm going to title this episode Strong Style.
Strong Style. Hashtag Strong Style.
Yeah, it's a lot of strong style tonight. Bill, your closing words, and then I'll hit my catchphrase and we'll call it a night.
Once again, everybody, thanks for tuning in and staying with us. Do what you say what you mean what you do.
And keep being you and keep being great.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back? Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?